Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is. If you're of a certain age, you probably remember that commercial. Pepto Bismol, Alka Seltzer, all those things for when you've eaten too much or you've gone a little bit overboard and your gut says no. Well, our pets are no different. There's a myriad of situations out there that can cause your pet, your dog, your cat, your horse to have digestive ailments. There's also chronic diseases that can happen where the gut is being affected again and again. You may go and get some help from a vet, and then it's reoccurring. That can be one of the most frustrating situations because you're trying to feed your pet the right things and you're trying to head things off at the pass, and it can be difficult. So, for those of you who don't know, I am Dr. Ternera Kroom, your holistic veterinarian. I am also a retired Army veterinarian, so I've got tons of leadership, which is why we have this new telemedicine internship that if you're college age or above, you should definitely check out. All right. So let's get into it. Today, we are talking about some holistic digestive solutions for your pets, and we're talking to the future veterinarians in my internship and those who might be interested in it. Because when you finally get to the point where you put that white coat on and you're able to give advice to those pet parents, you want to know what you're talking about. And the digestion, the gut is really where everything starts. That's the root of most things is your gut. What you're putting in there and what organism you might allow to grow in there, that is what can cause all these problems. Okay, so this is a crucial topic in vet med, digestive health and pets. As future vets, you've got to understand the science behind it. Okay, so in this session here, we're going to explore common causes of digestive upset in adult pets as well as young animals, and discuss how certain gut enzymes and chronic diseases can impact digestion. And then finally, we'll end with sharing some natural ways that we can support gut health and reduce those inflammatory situations with some of the herbs that I carry. Okay, so to start, how many of you have seen your pets or have seen pets, in the clinic during your rotations with chronic vomiting, diarrhea, or gas? Go ahead and put it in the chat if that's something that you've experienced as a future vet in your classes, your clinics, your rotations. I want to know about it because these signs can often point to imbalances in the digestive system as a whole, and that can stem from a variety of diseases and chronic diseases and enzyme deficiencies. So let's get into it a little bit. For dogs, we're going to just go into dogs, cats, and horses. Those are the main species that I deal with here at Dr. Kroom Mobile Vet Service. So with dogs, we often see, diarrhea, vomiting, bloating. You could get the chronic flatulence. Who knows what flatulence is? Put it in the chat, as well as weight loss. Okay, so dogs really need those enzymatic enzymes, or those enzymes, for instance, amylase, protease. This is something we actually talked about in our telemedicine internship the other week. We were talking about amylase, and one of our interns, Ebony, put two and two together and was like, hey, the ASE often means enzyme when the word ends in A's, like amylase and protease and lipase. Okay, you need those things. The dogs need those things for proper digestion. And so an imbalance in these enzymes can really lead to malabsorption symptoms and syndromes. So malabsorption means, inability to absorb correctly, appropriately. Maybe the inside of the gut or the intestines are covered with a layer of something preventing the nutrients from being absorbed. So malabsorption can be really, really deadly. You probably have heard about, pancreatic insufficiency. So when the pancreas isn't producing its enzymes, then you can get malnutrition, diarrhea, weight loss, even though those pancreatic animals typically have a higher appetite. Okay. So also IBD, inflammatory bowel disease. Did you think just humans got that? No, it's the pets get that too, and dogs can get it. It's a chronic condition that affects that lining we were just talking about of the GI tract, and it can also disrupt enzyme production as well and lead to prolonged digestive upset. So, so we know that's dogs. Cats, a little bit different, although they also rely on those digestive enzymes. They also rely on a certain amino acid. Put it in the chat if you know what is that one amino acid that cats specifically need. They need to be supplemented with. Put it in the chat if you know. I'll tell you here in just a minute. But cats can also get feline pancreatitis as well, and chronic renal disease. Those things can also cause the vomiting and things like that. So you might think, oh, my cat is vomiting, like it must be his gut, but it's not necessarily immediately the gut. It could be from having kidney disease or liver disease and things like that to cause the vomiting. Okay. Pancreatic insufficiency, though, is less common in cats than in dogs. All right, let me look over here in the chat. Did anybody tell me what that common enzyme or amino acid that cats need? I don't see it, so I'll go ahead and tell you. It's taurine. Taurine, Taurine. Cats need that. When they have a lack of that, then they can get poor fat digestion. They need that to break down the fat, and so that can cause steatosis, which is fatty stools, steatorrhea. Okay. So again, cats, they can also get the vomiting, the diarrhea, the constipation, weight loss, and bloating, but they need that taurine supplemented to make sure that they can break down those fats. And then horses is our third species that we'll mention tonight. They can get colic, right? Gas, bloating, diarrhea, and reduced appetite. For them, that colic, that's a big thing. Dogs can get that. The big chested, deep chested dogs can also get something like the bloat and the essentially like colic. But since horses have a different gut system, they're hind gut fermenters. So they rely on microbes, bacterial, right, inside of the cecum and inside of the colon to digest those bacteria, to digest the fibrous material that they eat. So horses, they eat something different than the dogs and cats. They've got the plant material, so they can get colitis or inflammation of the colon, or chronic gastric ulcers as well, in horses, to lead to recurrent colic. So the colic could just keep coming back again and again. So horses have another protein, again ending in ASC, that helps them. Anybody know what enzyme horses have specifically that helps them to break down from what they eat, the grass and hay and stuff that they eat? Put it in the chat if you know what enzyme that horses have specifically that help them break down that plant material. And while you think of that, have any of you future vets on the line right now, or even pet parents that may be on the line, seen those issues in your pets, in your horse, with the colic or the gas or the bloating? Those kind of things can be super scary because they can be deadly. That bloat can be deadly. Okay. Blocking off blood vessels, right? That's a main one. And pressing on other organs and causing issues there. So I don't see anything in the chat yet, so I'll give it to you. It's cellulase. Cellulase is the enzyme that horses have, different than the cat and dog, because the horses eat all that hay and grass, and so they need that to break down the cellulose from the fiber. Okay. All right. So we talked about cats, we talked about dogs and horses. They can all get bloat, they can all get indigestion, reduced appetite. And those enzymes are crucial, future vets. So you've got to learn about those in your microbiology courses and things like that, as well as physiology. Now, another main portion when we talk about digestive is the young ones, the young animals, right? The babies. They can have issues that are different than their parents. So for puppies specifically, since they have immature digestive enzymes, right? They're just born, all their stuff isn't fully formed yet. So it can be difficult for them initially to break down proteins and fats. That's why, having mother's milk is best. And after that, If you have to go to another type of milk, often it's goat's milk, and we actually have a new formulation of an herb with goat's milk inside. So look for that very soon on drkroom.com. It's for those holistic pet parents that know how great that goat's milk can be for the youngsters as well as the older ones, because there's a lot of minerals and nutrients and vitamins inside. So look for that, especially in an herb blend coming up very soon. So the puppies, they can have difficulty breaking those things down. Also, they can have parasites. Those parasites can really, like giardia, roundworms, very common to get that either from the mother or from the environment. And it can cause gut issues in young dogs. Same thing for cats. They can get the parasites as well. But I've actually got something special for you guys. Let me see if I turn this light on. It's a little better. Yep. So I've talked about this before, but when we talk about digestive, you've got to talk about the diatomaceous earth. You've got to talk about that because it's all natural. You know, we're holistic here. And so the diatomaceous earth, which is made from diatoms, which are like plankton found in the ocean. So they were living things. Now they're dried out. And what their job is to dry out those parasites that are on or inside your pet's body. So now we're talking about the gut. I know you're used to me talking about sprinkling this DE onto the outside of their body, but what are we talking about as far as the gut? Dr. Kroom, what are you talking about? We're talking about the fact that you can give your pets, you can mix the diatomaceous earth into water and give that maybe a couple times a week or once a week if there's not an active. But let me tell you, if you eat any kind of meat, if your animals eat any kind of meat, there's going to be some parasites there. Okay. Even if you do a regular deworming, at your vet, the DE can be a really good intermittent anti-parasitic that you can use. That's all natural. Be careful with it though, because it is drying, of course. So you want to make sure that your pet has enough fluid. Now you can find this right at drkroom.com as well. You can get a nice 1 pound jug here to put on your smaller animal, as well as you can put it on your horses as well to keep away the fleas and ticks and bed bugs. It will dry those puppies right out. Okay. Again, be careful with the younger animals though, because since it is drying. Now, kittens, of course, also have a developing digestive system, just like the puppies, and can be prone to infections like coccidia and giardia. Okay. So that can cause severe diarrhea. You've all seen it if you're a future vet. Kittens that come in and just poo everywhere, and it's just coming out loose. You're like, oh my gosh. A lot of times it's those parasites, coccidia and giardia, and again, that DE can be a very inexpensive way to help with that after you've gotten the actual treatment for coccidia down. And then lastly, the horse babies, the foals, right, they get something called foal heat diarrhea, which is pretty mild digestive upset during their first few weeks of life. But they also get parasites like strongyles, right? Roundworms. It can cause chronic diarrhea if not treated early. For horses, too, they can get pretty stressed out, and that can lead to gut imbalances in the foals, too. Okay. All right. So we've talked about dogs, cats, and horses and the different ailments they can deal with and why. We've talked about puppies, kittens, and foals and how their immature digestive enzymes can lead to infection and parasite overload. Now, we're the mobile vet service and we're holistic. We've got to talk about some holistic solutions for your pets. And we already talked about the DE being a great one. I also have an herb that can really, really help with that. And that is called Happy Earth and Jade Screen 8. And I've created a digestive blend just for you, your dog, your cat, and we can get a larger amount for your horse as well. You see, it has the Happy Earth, it has the Jade Screen 8, and it has moringa. If you're familiar with moringa, it has tons of antioxidants, anti-inflammatories. Like I put moringa in my smoothie whenever I make a smoothie. Okay, so these can help restore the balance in the gut by reducing inflammation. Okay, that Happy Earth, that's specifically for your digestive system in dogs, cats, and horses. Okay. The Jade Screen 8, that's well known for its immune boosting properties. Okay. And it also has probiotics. Okay, so this is really like our probiotic formula, our digestive formula here. Okay, all right, so by combining herbal probiotics with those enzymes, we can support overall better absorption for your pets. Okay, for dogs with chronic diseases like IBD, the inflammatory bowel disease, herbs can also help to reduce that inflammation and soothe that gut lining. I'm telling you, this is a gem, okay? You'll know you're in the right place if you see Dr. Kroom's face right along with the digestive herbal mix, okay? Get it. Tell your friends, tell your people. All right. So for dogs with enzyme deficiencies, we talked about that. They can, you can add some supplements. You can supplement them with the enzymes that they need, the amylase, the protease, the lipase that we talked about, so that their food can digest better. Okay. Have any of you out there, any of you future vets, ever encountered dogs with exocrine pancreatic insufficiency or IBD? How did you manage their conditions if you did? I want to know in the chat. Even if you're watching this later, you can put replay, hashtag replay in the chat, and then go ahead and put your answer. I want to see what you know. As you know, we have our telemedicine internship, and this is what a lot of our interns will be learning from me, as well as some of my other colleagues moving forward, learning how to support that gut health in your future clients. Okay. So for cats, again, the same herb. That's why I love herbal medicine, I swear. Because herbs can be used for humans, dogs, cats, horses, and it can be the same herbs, just different amounts for the size of your animal. So that same digestive blend on the website can be used to help your cats that are dealing with immune imbalances, and their gut flora may be off balance as well. Okay. The cats that have that pancreatitis or chronic kidney disease that we talked about, these herbs are really beneficial for that as well. Okay. So the herbs are really great for, maybe they've had this chronic disease, you've been doing the typical medication, maybe your traditional vet has given, and maybe now they're getting a little older. You're like, you know what, I need to take this stress off of their body. And that's the time that you could come to us for a holistic virtual visit, and we can discuss what options. A lot of times we're able to increase the herbs and decrease the pharmaceuticals. And that's what most of my clients that come to me really, really want. Any future feline specialists out there? Put it in the chat if you're planning to work with cats, future vets. I'd love to know that. If so, what diets or supplements have you found that have been helpful for your cat patients? I want to know what you've been using. All right. And then lastly, horses. Again, we talked about they can get colic again and again sometimes, and that is just horrible. You hate to see your horse out in the pasture rolling around and in pain, and just, it's horrible. So again, this blend, you need a larger amount though for the horses. You're going to put it right into their feed daily, and it can help to reduce that digestive upset from that chronic colic. Okay. Okay, so, and then lastly, I want to ask if any of our future vets out there are interested in equine medicine. It's a field that we need more vets in, definitely on the large animal side of the house. So keep equine medicine in your thoughts as you move forward through your courses and everything. You got some vets out there working in Kentucky for the Derby and all these other countries that just have tons of horses. You could do really, really well in that specialty, future vets. Okay. So just remember, as we close down here, future vets, you've got to understand the true importance of the gut. Realize that everything starts there. You've got to know the role of those enzymes. They're so important to have those enzymes at the right level to be balanced out, and know that you could supplement them if need be. Okay. And keeping in mind that if you're wanting to go the holistic direction, or if your clients are wanting to go the holistic direction, you're talking about the gut, don't forget about the diatomaceous earth. This is a sometimes forgotten, or maybe People will use it for, around their home or, in the barn and things like that to keep the bugs at bay, which is true. That's a perfect way to do this. To sprinkle it outside or in the entryways to your home. But don't forget that this food grade diatomaceous earth can also be used mixed in the water and used to cleanse out those parasites internally. Okay? Put in the chat if you would be interested in joining me, say every couple of weeks, to get together virtually to do a little bit of DE. We'll mix up the DE for ourselves, we'll mix it up for our pet, and then we'll go ahead and take it. We won't be together long, 15 minutes or less, but that's something that I've been thinking that I would like to do with some of my followers who want to get rid of the parasites inside their own gut as well as their pet, something that we can both use. So let me know if you want that. Based on how many responses I get, we may put something like that together over in our school. Speaking of our school, we've got something very exciting. It's an online community that I've created for not only my future veterinarians, definitely future vets. You need to come on over here. Let me give you the link, okay, that you can check out. It's school.com/holistic-pet care future vet. Just copy and paste and get on over there. We've got some free it's totally free. You'll have access to the courses that I've put in there. We've got a senior pet course in there, and then we've got all the future vets that can connect in there and network. Last night we had a really great virtual session, where several of my interns got together and they were talking about some deep things. When you're going through vet school, or if you're in undergrad and you're in a pre-vet, agricultural type courses, animal science, those things. Those courses can be tough, especially when you get into the deeper sciences, the microbiologies, and the organic chemistries and things like that. You can get together and have a network over there. So if you are of college age, or someone who is, let them know about our school and give them this link so that they can have access to me. And then once you get over there, then you can actually also apply for the virtual internship that I was just talking about. It has a slightly longer link, but you'll get it, okay? It's definitely in my feed somewhere where we're talking about the internship. You can grab the link, or you could apply, but I would suggest you come to the school first so you can see what's what and see if you would like um, to join and apply for the internship. We've got about 7 or 8 interns right now from all across the country that join me on my virtual visits with actual clients, actual patients, and you will learn directly from me and my team those soft skills that you need to do well, not only in telemedicine, but you can't just work with the animals. You got to work with their pet parents as well. And these skills are what you need to be able to talk to them and give them sometimes the bad news and sometimes the good news, but always having that compassion. That compassion is crucial. All right. So again, we talked about digestive health today. Don't forget about my new blend. This is a Dr. Kroom blend of various herbs that are going to help with those chronic digestive situations. All right. I want to see your comments in the chat when you check this out later. Let me know what you need. And I will see you next Thursday. We're here every Thursday talking to my future veterinarians, pouring into the next generation of veterinarians, and teaching you all what you need to know to be the best clinician, educator, whatever specialty of veterinary medicine you decide to go in. The options are endless. But wherever you go, you need to know about that gut health. So, all right, keep studying, do well in those classes, and get on over to this school so that you can join us over there in our free community. All right. Peace out. We'll see you next week.